I don't know what I'm talking about. Five Nights at Freddy's has not yet made it into my life. They've had games, books, action figures, even an official Five Nights at Freddy's cookbook, but none of it has came across my plate in my couple decades on Earth. Honestly, I think it would have stayed that way. If it weren't for my ramped up YouTube schedule, and this movie getting the most rare expansion in Hollywood, a sequel, I would have never seen this hunk of junk. Yeah, hold on. Now, I haven't actually seen the film yet. Sadly, my expectations are already in the ground. I almost never like PG-13 horror, I hate jump scares, and I just don't want to see Chuck E. Cheese mascots going to kill people. Those guys are scary enough as is. Let's see what happens.
2 hours later.
Pretty much as bad as I thought. Off the bat, it really wasn't as jump scary as I thought it was going to be. I thought there was just going to be constant, times where the music cuts out and you're just waiting for something to pop out at you. And there's probably only like 3 or 4 of them, even though there were some really cheap ones at the beginning. The beginning of the movie in general is interesting because it kind of sets up with a completely different tone than the rest of the movie. The sequence is utterly terrifying. And you get the security guard in just a full-blown Saw contraption. Yeah, I was definitely liking the tone. This little cold open is not bad at all. Like, not a bad place to start. Had me kind of thinking that this movie was going to go down a different path. So then we meet this guy named Mike. He's played by Josh Hutcherson. And Josh is a security guard, also a security guard at a mall this time. Josh sees a kid getting trafficked, or at least he thinks he's getting trafficked. This scene was interesting for me because it goes down like this, right? You see the kid, and the kid's alone, and he's like crying. And then an adult comes up and just like grabs his arm. My initial thought was like, oh shit, that's like a bad parent, or it's like an angry parent. Mike's initial thought was that was 100% a child trafficker, and he had to go beat this guy up, which he does. He runs after this guy, tackles him without saying a word into a fountain, and just fucking wails on him. Jesus Christ, Mike. You're not gonna like hang around for a second and maybe make sure that it's alright to, harm this man who just grabbed this child? You gotta make sure that that's not apparent. It is explained later that Mike has some history with trafficking. When he was a little kid, his brother got taken on a camping trip, so this explains how he acts so rashly. And honestly, I'm going to keep giving the movie credit, because look at that. It got me. So now we have our arcade. We have our main character established. All we have to do is get him there. Before we go to the arcade, it's a pizzeria, isn't it? Sorry. We do need to discuss some of the conflict being set up in the different groups around the pizzeria. It's a lot, so try and stay with me. Basically, there's a whole like Lilo and Stitch siblings thing going on where Mike has custody of his sister. Yeah, that's great. I love seeing some sibling separation stories in my video game adaptations. It's set up to be a focus of the story, and I don't know why it feels so wrong when it is the focus of the story. Some of this plotline confusion comes from this blonde lawyer who is, I don't even know. Who is this lady? She's the lawyer who's trying to separate Mike and his sister, using the girl whose house Mike is staying at. She's using this girl to get proof about that Mike's a bad parent, essentially. And Mike is this lady's nephew. So this lady, like, really hates Mike for some reason. That's never explained. Just confusing what's going on here. And there's, like, separate conversations away from our main characters happening about it. You have blonde lady just talking to these two randos about how they're going to frame Mike and, how they're going to break into his new place of work at the arcade. Or the pizzeria. I'm going to assume that this whole custody subplot was not taken directly from the game lore, but who really knows? At this little secondary meeting, this lawyer agrees to risk her career and try to frame her nephew for murder or something by having this dude break into Freddy's. That's the whole plan. That's just stupid. We have plenty of villains. Let's use those. Like, we don't need to spend time here. This is just a waste. Now, we also have this job counselor guy who's obviously a very, very important character. And he's the dude who makes the call to get Mike into the arcade. The pizzeria. The fucking pizzeria, goddammit. So he does that, gets Mike in, and now the character count is up there. Oh yeah, and now there's this other random lady named Vanessa. Vanessa is a great character. Oh, just wait for this. She's a cop, but while she's on duty, I think, a lot of the time, at least she's in the squad car in full uniform, she likes to just go to Freddy's. Just an old broken down pizzeria, just to chill, just to hang out. You can tell she's starting to hit it off with the security guard, but also might not be saying something, which will also come back later. So the cop and Mike leave, and here's random guy from the diner. Right when he sees these two leave, a cop, mind you, within 5 seconds he's on the phone saying, "Showtime!" And him and his boys are just going inside, sacking the place. I am glad that they got these people in here because they got to do, like, what I thought this entire movie was going to be, which is the Freddy's group. I thought it was just going to be them, like, messing people up the whole time. And that's what this was. They broke in and they got messed up by Freddy's homies. During the break-in scene, we do get our first full looks of the animatronics, and they're not scary. I don't know if this is a known thing with Five Nights at Freddy's, but they're just not scary. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think they're scary? Now Mike is like fully just security guarding out, and whenever he comes into Freddy's, he just like immediately goes to sleep and has these really scary dreams. So I think there's like a ton of Freddy's lore because there's books and stuff, so I don't know what's going on. But I'm curious why these people are doing this and like the lengths they go to just do random shit. Like hold bodies inside them. You have the security guard from the beginning who we find out somehow is alive still. They just do random shit and they torture people and they conspire to get people inside to then torture them or steal their kids, and it's just like, why? Why are you doing this? I'm curious. We don't get to know though. Let's just, keep talking about the worst cop. She's not really a terrible cop, but my note here does say, damn, Vanessa's the worst cop ever. So can't argue with that. After, I think, being at the crime scene from the break-in, she goes to Mike's house because he had sleeping pills there at work to help him sleep. And she's like, "You left the door unlocked, you idiot. You can't let this happen. It's your sleeping pills." This is just not true because Vanessa left at the exact same time as Mike. Remember Mike and Vanessa leaving together before Random Man broke in? Girl, he was not popping sleeping pills and then driving. You saw, there was no way, you were with him. You were with him. If anything, it was your fault. You distracted him on the way. You should be apologizing. Vanessa also really starts using that company time up well, just going on a casual walk. It's on this walk that Mike decides to just open up as much as possible. He's met this girl twice for like 5 minutes each, and then just drops a ton of trauma about his brother who got trafficked. Whoa, dude, trauma dump much. Finally, though, then Vanessa's radio crackles. And she's like, I should go. Yeah, you should have been gone. Go do your freaking job, dude. You're not supposed to be hanging around here playing therapist. So this is the movie up until this. Like, just nothing is happening. It's not very scary. There's these, like, few very different scenes than the rest of the movie with the break-in from random people all get killed and then the Saw cold open. You have all these pretty shallow relationships being set up, random storylines with lawyers and cops and a little bit of Freddy's lore. It just all feels so disjointed. I think we're getting closer to the horror that I want though, because there is a jump scare here, which is possibly the worst jump scare of all time. There's a toy on a shelf that Mike could have easily seen in his peripherals, but they decide to zoom way in on its eyes when Mike picks his head up, so it scares us. It's the cheapest thing ever. It didn't even work on me. The other place this film decides to spend time is with Mike's sister. She sees ghosts, apparently, and we find out those ghosts make the robots move. I think. I mean, it's going deep into the lore now. I asked for the lore and I received the lore. Then we finally get back to the arcade, the pizzeria, the fucking pizza. I said pizzeria. And here's Vanessa just chilling at the place now, having a good time. Mike also brought along his sister. Vanessa, like, trusts these robots a lot, and she wants to, like, work with Mike's sister to help build a fort and use Freddy's pals and everything. It was weird. It was like I kept thinking it was going to turn horror, and it just didn't turn horror. There's even a moment where Mike chooses to leave his sister alone with the group of animatronics and go talk to Vanessa. Okay, so it's not really getting scary yet then. I keep thinking it's about to go there, but it's not. We're like an hour 15 in now, and it hasn't got too terrifying. Unless you look at the mental side. Mike is having these dreams about his brother who got taken and just keeps like talking to people in the dreams trying to find him, and he's talking to like the ghosts of the kids who control the animatronics and all this crazy stuff. It's like turned into a psychological drama. Pretty soon after the night they built the fort, though, Vanessa starts to show her true colors. Basically, she tells Mike that there have been missing kids who went missing here, and she knows the animatronics are alive and that the kids are controlling them and all this stuff. And there's this like really convoluted thing about like there's live bodies inside them or something, or maybe dead bodies. I don't really get it. Why didn't she tell Mike about this? She literally was like flirting with the security guard from the beginning and decided not to tell him that he's living with a bunch of like killer animatronics. Vanessa's also pissed that Mike brought the kid. And it's like, dude, you barely cared while you were there when the kid was alone, number one. And you could have told Mike about the dangers. What are you doing? Vanessa. We really just stay in like the psychological horror and family horror category, much less than actual horror. At like an hour and 30 minutes is when we finally get freaking Mike running from Freddy and company. There's like humming that's actually scary. And I thought from that point on they might want to stay in the restaurant, do the whole like horror thing, but they didn't. In fact, they have Freddy leave the restaurant. It's quite literally what I thought this movie was going to be. I thought it was just going to be like, okay, have a nice little setup, get the person who's going to save Mike at the very end, get Mike in the place, and then just have him be scared the whole time. They tried to combine so many different movies into one with this. You don't have good family stories with this. You don't have good trauma stories. It's just slop all around with little sprinkles of horror that's not even that scary. And it's all the bullshit, like people not thinking straight. And, Vanessa. Let me just go on Vanessa for a second. She is just a classic character withholding info for no reason. She shouldn't even have the time to be here. She's on duty half the time. Don't know what she's doing. But like her dad died. She somehow knows her dad's like in the suit or something. It's like this whole thing. It's another thing that like, oh, you could have mentioned that. And that also confirms that you knew these were bad people if you were scared of your dad in the suit and you like knew what he was up to. What are you doing, Vanessa? Why do you exist? And Vanessa's talking about the bodies in the suits thing, which I still don't understand. So there's ghost kids that control the suits, but there's also different bodies of victims in the suits. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. They don't explain. It's just hard to... I paid attention. I swear I paid attention. When Mike's getting pissed at Vanessa with all this and being like, why did you not tell me about all the imminent danger right in front of me? I tried to warn you in my own way. Are you fucking kidding me, Vanessa? You didn't try to warn anybody. Fucking terrible, terrible character, Vanessa. Vanessa. And I just want it to be over. There's another animatronic. Apparently, Freddy's not the top guy. This bear is Vanessa's dad. It's also the job counselor. So this job counselor from the beginning was trying to set up Mike. Why? I don't know. I know I'm sitting here making a YouTube video. They don't give reasons for this stuff. So yeah, that villain comes out of nowhere, but then, I don't know, it's pretty much all chill. Mike wins. The girl's dead. Girl's dead? What am I talking about? I think I'm just, like, projecting what I want to happen. Vanessa is very much alive, and Mike and Vanessa are now they're gonna date for the rest of eternity, obviously. There's probably an end credit scene as well, but, I don't care. When all of a sudden this movie just takes too long to take off, the horror that you actually get doesn't feel like enough. And it feels disjointed because it just feels so different than what they try to do with the other storylines. It's just subplot mania in this, and not many satisfying subplots. Characters that are annoying as fuck and just don't make any sense. Just tonally confused. But okay. I've had my fun. I won't be too hard on it. To take it out, let me mention the things this movie did great. And with that, thank you, Gregory. Specifically you, Gregory. And of course, to everyone else who watched this one, thank you. Yeah, I had a ton of fun making this one. Not a whole lot of fun watching the movie, but I do love ripping on movies that I don't like. I'll tell you, it's a grand old time. I also was doing a new kind of format in this, where I'm going unscripted for the most part. So if I sounded any different today, that's probably why. If I sounded any dumber, that's probably why. Yeah, it's just kind of a fun way to help me reach a goal of mine was just to be able to get better at talking in general, and specifically talking about movies, and just talking off the cuff as much as I possibly can on my own time is a really good way to work on that. Real quickly, I do want to shout out the Fresh Out the Film podcast, which is me and my sister's podcast, where we go to the movie theater, we get out of the movies, go to the parking lot, and turn on the mics immediately in the car. Try to bring over a lot of that energy from the movie theater. We recently just came out with Wicked Part 2, and our next episode is going to be Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair. Feel free to go ahead and check that out. We would really appreciate it. But, yeah, I think we're done here. So, deuces.